Hello there and welcome to the Bicycle Diaries and welcome back to the UK. If you were watching last week's vlog, you'll know that I was in the beautiful sunshine of Croatia and I did my epic ride across the international border from Croatia into Bosnia. Now, I've been back home about 2 weeks and as you can imagine, the weather here in the UK is going to be very, very different from that in Croatia. Almost from the moment I got back, it was just chucking it down with rain, but it's not all been doom and gloom. We have had some really nice weather and I have managed to get out on the bike a couple of times. I have to admit though that most of the rides I've done since I've been back have been on Zwift, and that's been down purely and simply to the weather just being absolutely awful. The day the sun has shined though, I did go out on my bike and the first ride I did was about 10 days ago and I did that on my usual Buns, Bent and Hoe route and that was all fine. And then last Thursday I rode down to Southsea in Portsmouth, so right on the coast there, and I met my cycling chum Paul for a tea and a sticky bun. When I was on that ride, I kind of surprised myself because having spent so much time off a real bike, I thought I was going to be pretty unfit and I just wasn't going to do very well. But it appears that all these Zwift sessions that I've been doing have stood me in good stead because I could see that my cadence was slightly higher than usual. Normally I pedal at about 90 revs per minute, and then last Thursday I was cycling roughly at about 95 revs per minute, and my general speed was just a lot higher as well. Now Zwift has helped because when you do a Zwift session there's literally no let up, it's absolutely relentless. So you just sit there on the turbo trainer and you just pedal away. And despite the game actually saying that I was only pedaling at about 64 revs per minute, when I put my Garmin on and that started picking up the signals from my cadence sensor, my actual pedaling rate was around 95. So I was kind of doing that continuously for 45 minutes, and then when I went out on the road I was able to carry that over and maintain that same cadence. Needless to say, I was pretty pleased about that. The ride that I did there and back down to Southsea was about 40 kilometres. By the time I got back though, I did feel a little bit tired, and then I woke up the next morning with this kind of flu thing that you can hear at the moment. Now basically when you do push yourself, what you do is lower your immune system, and obviously when I did that I left myself open to some sort of infection. Now with hindsight, there must be something seasonal going on. Obviously we're here in late autumn and when I was looking back on my vlogs from last year, I looked at the vlog where I went to Kutaisi out in Georgia, and I can hear that I'm just getting over something very similar. So I was out in Georgia last December, early last December, and here we are early November, and I do remember that it did take me quite a long time, over a month, to get over something very similar back then. Now obviously this does have an impact on my cycling. When I'm like this, I'm very, very reluctant to go out and actually do any cycling. Long story short, a few years ago I did just that and I ended up in my one and only time in hospital with a chest infection. It's not an experience that I wish to repeat, so I'm playing very, very cautious, and when I've got this kind of chesty, throaty thing going on, I just lay off the bike and just take it relatively easy. Having said that though, I'm not really sure what the answer is. All the time I'm not doing any exercise whatsoever, my fitness is deteriorating. Clearly cycling is not the thing that I should be doing at the moment, but maybe something a bit more gentle like walking. Now, being a bit more gentle, it's not going to give you quite the fitness benefits that cycling would, but at least it would slow down the loss of fitness that I'm experiencing at the moment. But whichever way you look at it, things this time of the year are starting to wind down. The weather's not great, you lack motivation, and you're just generally a lot more lethargic. The trick then is to try and look forward and find something to get your motivation back. And for me personally, that probably means some sort of trip away somewhere. So I'm thinking about Mallorca, I'm thinking about some epic rides down in the south of France, plus obviously I have the London 100 to look forward to, and that's assuming that I get through the ballot. So that's going to be announced in a couple of months' time, so wish me luck for that. But in the meantime, thank you for watching.